Good morning, students. Welcome to New Era Global School online teaching class. Yesterday, we have seen about our chapter number 7 overall review, and today we will continue the same topic. First, what I mean by the aquatic plants? So, the plants which live in water, they are called as an aquatic plants. So first we will see about how are the plants in swamps and marshes. So first, what do you mean by swamp and marshes? If you see this area, these regions, they have clay and tricky soil. So here the water will be collected easily. So the water is collected easily. The soil does not contain enough air for the plant's roots to take in. Right or not? So we need an air to live. We need oxygen to live. Like that, the plants also, they need the air. But here in these areas, the soil, they do not have air. So how the plants will take the air? So, in this condition, the root of these plants, they will come outside. Now see, swamp and marshes are the regions, they have clay and sticky soil, where the water collects easily. As the soil does not contain enough air, the plant's roots to take in. So only few plants. What are the plants? Like mangroves and reeds. They will grow in this situation. As the soil, they doesn't contain the enough air, the plants of these plants, that is the mangroves and reeds, they have the roots that stick out of the water to take in air. So the root of these plants, they will come outside. Why? To take the air. These roots, they are called breathing roots. What is the root name? They are called as a breathing roots. If you see these roots, you can able to see a special pores. Pores means it's a hole. So in this hole, where the exchange of gases take place. That is taking out carbon dioxide and giving out oxygen. So these mangrove grow in the swamp near the sea, where the sea water makes the water brackish. Brackish means some black in color. So mostly these type of the plants we can see in different countries. But in our India, it is found on the Sundarbans in West Bengal, on the delta of Ganges river. Clear? Then aquatic plants. So the plants that grow in water, they are called aquatic plants. So there are three types are there: floating plants, fixed plants and underwater plants. First, what do you mean by the term floating plants? Floating means what? So the plants will float on the water, right? Any substance with any plants which are floating there on water, they are called floating plants. So what is an example? Water hyacinth and duckweed. So these two are the examples. How these plants, they are living on the water. So here in these plants, the root, they are not fixed to the ground. Mainly the root, they will not fix it to the ground. And if you see the stem of these plants, they are spongy. Why they are spongy? Because they have the air space inside. By means of these spongy stems, these plants, they float on the water. And then fixed plants, they are also aquatic plants. They grow in the water. Here the root is fixed to the soil. The root is fixed to the soil. Where? At the bottom of the water body. What are the examples? Examples are lotus and water lily. How these plants are adapting themselves? First one, here the stem of many plants, they are under the soil of the water body. Here the stem will be under the soil of the water body. Only the leaves and the flowers, they will float on the water. And the flowers and leaves, they are connected to the stem by the thin long stalks. And if you see this stalk, if you cut the stalk, inside you can able to see many air spaces. Why? To make them light. So only they can float. And here they are flexible and they will move to the flow of the water. In which direction the water is moving, it will also move along with them. Many plants such as the lotus plants, they have large plate-like leaves. What they are telling? Many plants such as the lotus and lotus plants, they have the large plate. And if you touch the leaves, they will have the waxy coating to protect them from rotting. What means rotting? If rotting means, if so many days the plants are living in the water, so the plants will die. Why? Due to the more amount of the water. So but here these plants, they have the waxy coating mainly to protect them from rotting. And then the stomata, they are on the in each and every plant. The stomata are under the underside of the leaves. But here in these plants, the stomata are on the upper side of the leaves. So easily they can take in and give out gases. And the next one, underwater plants. Underwater means what? The plants that grow completely under the surface of water. All the plants that will grow under the surface of water. So they are called underwater plants. So these underwater plants, they gives out oxygen for support of the aquatic life. So what happened? In underwater also some of the aquatic organisms are there. So these plants, they give out the oxygen to help them. What is an example? Examples are tape grass and pondweed. And the next one, adaptations. How these plants are living there. So the root of the plants, they are fixed to the soil in the water body. And if you see the leaves, they have a thin narrow ribbon like leaves to prevent the damage to flow on the water. These leaves, they do not have stomata. So only from the water they take the carbon dioxide. Here the stems of the plants, they are flexible and they will move with the flow of water. And then next one, it is called as an insectivorous plant. What are they? They are called as an insectivorous plants. So some plants, they will grow in the region where they have the less nutrients. Some of the plants, they grow in region where they have less nutrients. So how they will survive? So here the leaves of some plant, they are modified to trap the insects. So by taking that insects, the plant will get the nutrients. Such plants, they are called insectivorous plants. So two examples are there, Venus flytrap and picture plant. Okay, how they are surviving? If you take the Venus flytrap, they have these plants, they have the lobed leaves. The leaves are very short and stiff, and they have the hairs at the edges. When the hairs are touched, when you touch the hair, what will happen? So slowly the leaves will close along with the insect. Now what happened? So inside the plant, they will release the juices, and then they will digest the insect, and they will take the nutrients. Then the picture plant, it is also having the leaves. Here the leaves, they are modified into deep container. Okay, and the top, it is having the lid. So these leaves, they are filled with the digestive juices. So here the rim of the picture, it will be slippery. When the insect sit on the lid, it will slowly enter into the picture. So once the insect enter the plant, it will send the digestive juices, and then the lid will be closed. The insect is digested. So these are all the examples for the insectivorous plant. And then saprophytic plants. So what are saprophytic plants? So plants need chlorophyll, right? Chlorophyll to make the food. So here these type of plants, they do not have chlorophyll, so they are called non-green plants. Here the photosynthesis product doesn't take place. How they will get the nutrients? From the dead plants and animals. Such plants, they are called saprophytic plants. What are all the examples? Coral root and Indian pipe. These two are the examples. And the last one, it is called parasitic plants. So what are parasitic plants? Some plants cannot absorb nutrients from the soil, right? Instead, they absorb the nutrients from the other living plants. So what they are telling? Some of the plants, they cannot get the nutrients from the soil. So they live on the another plant to get the food. So what they will do? They are called as an parasitic plants. How they will take? They will harm the plant. How they will harm? They will take only the nutrients from the plants. So these plants, they have the special root-like structure that grow into the host plants to absorb the nutrients. So what are all the examples? Dodder and Mistletoe. So these are all the examples. Now today what we have discussed, how the plants in swamps and marshes are living. Then we discussed what are aquatic plants. The plants that are living in water, they are called aquatic plants. In that we have seen three examples: floating plants, fixed plants and underwater plants. Then we have seen about what are insectivorous plants, how they get the food, how they are digested. Then what we have seen? We have seen about saprophytic plants. What are saprophytic plants? In the plants, the chlorophyll is absent. So they are called non-green plants. So they will take the food from the dead plants and animals. Then we have seen what are parasitic plants. So some of the plants, they cannot absorb the nutrients. But how they will get the nutrients? By other living things. So they will cause the harm to the plant by getting only the nutrients. So they have the special root-like structure. They grow into the host plant to absorb the nutrients. Examples: dodder and mistolite. Okay, just go through this chapter and we will see you tomorrow.